So one of the things that's coming up in August is every year we've had an August meeting, and we focused it around one of our certificates. And so that meeting in the future is going to be called the Transform Conference or Experience. But just remember the word transform. And this year's focus is going to be on experience God's Word. And so we have some really exciting things to do as far as training up new teachers and leaders in local churches that really surround this idea of being transformed through God's Word. And I'm going to exit out of here real quick so I can actually, hopefully you can still see this. But the conference focus is going to be experience God's Word through transformational teaching. So the emphasis is going to be on the transformational teaching certificate. This is a great way to add value to any local church. So if you're working with local churches or you are a local church, this is a great way to train up a whole new generation of quality Bible teachers by training them with the transformational teaching certificate. And so we're going to talk about a little bit about how to add value and to grow your local center. And so the layout of the conference, there's actually going to be 2 tracks this year. In the past, we've only focused on directors and instructors. This year, we're going to focus on 1 track for directors and instructors and the other track on students and church members. And here's the goal. Here's how you can utilize this conference to actually recruit new students for your center. You reach out to your local churches that are around you or within your church and encourage them to bring their students so they can actually participate in an event to get to know you better, to get to know what you're offering better. And so those of you like Mount Zion and the Inland Empire that are close to Ontario, we're planning for a live event coming up in August the 22nd. But we'll also have contingencies that if we can't go live, we're going to do it all on Zoom. And so the basic layout, there's 2 tracks. One is to encourage directors and instructors. And we have faculty from Gateway Seminary that are going to lead those to show instructors how to teach this at your local center. And then the local students, we're going to have the same instructors, except with maybe a couple of exceptions, teach students. Here's what you're going to gain by taking this class at your local center. So the goal is going to be kind of to funnel your students all to your local centers, give them a shared experience with you so you can recruit them to an event and kind of build that synergy there. And here's some of the goals and benefits of this. 1, you can involve local churches. So many of you have relationships with other sister churches close by. You have friendships that are involved in that. This is a way where you can help them this gives you a reason to reach out and contact them and say, hey, have you heard about this new Transform conference? We'd love for you to come and experience that with us. The opportunity to recruit new students comes with this opportunity to engage new churches. And so you can use this as a recruiting event. Here's something brand new. We've not offered this before, but students, by participating in this Transform conference, can earn 1 advanced credit just by simply signing up, paying the $27.50 for the 1 credit hour. They can gain a credit for this. We're going to do another one in January. And I've got some more to say about this, but I'll show you a way that you can utilize this opportunity for them to gain experience and credit for attending that class. And then, of course, this is going to be an opportunity for you to prepare instructors. So they'll have access to our Gateway faculty. Our Gateway faculty will help them kick off this course. It will be recorded, and you can utilize that to train instructors in the future. So let me run through this, and then I'll take questions at the end. Here's a sign up link, and I'll show you what it looks like. And we're going to send this to you so that you can, if you contact anybody via Zoom, email, social media, or anything like this, you can give them this link. And this is the Eventbrite page that they would register. And so if you click on the register page, it will tell if you're going to sign up to be on campus or online. And you can do that either way. So students from your center that you recruit, they don't have to physically be with you. They can attend with you online via that Zoom option. And this link will give you all the details, when it's happening, the location, the schedule, the speakers, and everything that you would need to know about this event. So you're going to be hearing more about this Transform Conference. It's going to be focused around introducing the Transformational Teaching certificate, which I think is a foundational certificate that every church can benefit from. Let me see. Click out of here. And then I think that brings us to the end of the Transform Conference experience. It's going to be August 22nd, which is a Saturday, and it will be all day, I think from about, I don't know, maybe 8:39 in the morning until like 4:30 or something like that in the evening. And it'll have four classes that will mirror the Transformational Teaching Certificate. So here's a way that I would encourage you to consider engaging new churches. As a center, you can go there and you can encourage the pastors to, and maybe even challenge them to double the number of trained Bible study teachers in their local church. Just ask them if they would be interested in doubling the number of trained Bible study leaders in their church. And if their answer is no, you probably can't help them. But if their answer is yes, then you can help them, right? So, and what we're talking about are not teachers that just know how to read a lesson that somebody else wrote. We're talking about training teachers how to develop and deliver a quality Bible study that they developed. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about helping churches up their game in the Bible study department. And this has lots of benefits to a local church. If they train their own teachers on how to do it, you can get a lot done. You can save on curriculum. You can save on lots of different things, and you can double. You know, in one given year, a church can at least double the number of adult Sunday school or Bible study units they offer, and that is no small thing. So, and that gives us a natural end to contact them from your local center's perspective and say, hey, we're offering a new opportunity this semester, this fall, about training Bible study teachers. Here's the goal. We want to help you double the number of trained Bible study leaders in your local church. We'd love to help you do that. That way, as an advanced center, we add value back to that local church, not just try to get students from there at that point. And so, do you guys have any questions up to this point? Yeah, Carlos.
Are you going to email us the link? I'd really like to have it before this Wednesday, because I have an associational meeting this Wednesday, and I'd like to share that.
Can you send everybody here the link to the Eventbrite?
Yes, I will. I'll be sending that out and the new template after this is all over.
All right.
All right, thank you. This Wednesday, Wednesday morning, I'm going to have this associational meeting, talking about 30, 35 churches that get together. And this will be a great opportunity for me to start sharing this with them, and
Yes.
actually giving them something that they can actually look at.
Absolutely. We will get everybody here the link, and we'll send it out to all of our directors for sure. It is something I think that can be a game changer for us in terms of, or for you and your local center, and growing your influence where you're at by helping local churches be more successful in what they're able to do. And this gives teachers how to teach, develop and teach quality Bible lessons, and that kind of stuff is solid. So we'll do that, Carlos. Thank you. Are there any other questions about the Transform Conference coming up? Okay. And some of the goals, I'm going to share my screen with you real quick. Okay, so if you see my screen, you're looking at the Advanced Ministry Preparation, Ministry Leadership Experience, and then it's, you name the conference. So we just got this approved from our academic council. I don't know, it was maybe right before everything kind of, this COVID-19 started. But what this allows you to do, this allows us to offer students, and for you to offer your students, 1 credit hour for an experience or a conference. And it can be more than that, depending on the length and commitment of the conference that you're attending. So say, for example, Carlos, I'm going to stick with you for a second.
Okay.
Say the state convention there in New Mexico is offering, or maybe NAM is offering a training for church planters. Well, and say you wanted to partner with them where they could actually get credit from NAM to go to that church planting, and they could get credit through the advanced program for a completion of a introduction to church planting course. So that would be one possibility. They can get credit by you guys filling this out, facilitating the experience, and attending that event, and get credit from the advanced program as well. So this is something that really opens up a lot of opportunities for us. So if you want to partner with existing organizations like the state convention or NAM, or maybe it's a conference, an evangelism conference that you want to take people to, you can utilize this syllabi to accomplish that. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing that for a second. And this opens up opportunities for you to then build relationships. Say a local church is offering an all-day training, and you want to involve students from that local church in the advanced program. Then they could actually sign up as an advanced student, pay the new student fee and the $27.50 for the base tuition, and they could become new students. And I've worked it out with our seminary that they can earn up to 12 of these credits over the course of time, and they could earn a Christian ministry certificate by just attending these 1-hour courses that you partner up with. So we've created for you, and we've sought to create for you ways that you can bring these people together, so that we say, hey, we honor your teaching and your expertise, but we can also help you get your students something worth showing for that, other than, hey, we attended an event. So we'll be sending you out a copy of this syllabi that you can use, and we're going to be you can utilize this by bringing students to the Transform Conference. That's what we want you to know, so that your students or church members that come to this can gain 1 credit hour towards a Christian ministry certificate or an elective that they may need. And they would need to gain 3 of these, to be an equivalent of a course. But over a year's time, that's easy to do. We're going to be offering 2 or 3, maybe more than that. It could be as many as a half a dozen to more, just from the Gateway Seminary site, that your students would have an opportunity to participate in online. So there'll be plenty of opportunities in the future for us to connect and work together to help your students get the training that they need. So do you have any questions about the Transform Conference or the new syllabi for the conference experience?
I have just one little thing to add about the conference syllabi, that you can also, if you're going to a conference that lasts like all week long or something like that, you can appeal to us to have students earn more than just 1 credit for that conference. If students are in sessions for 8 hours a day for 5 days a week, that merits more than 1 credit hour. So just email us and have a conversation with us about that, and we'll get the whatever approvals we need for them to get more than just 1 credit for that training.
All right.
Good.
Anybody have any questions?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have somewhere in that syllabi for us a listing of what type of courses, classes, training events would qualify?
It's really about time. So basically, Randy, if it's about a day-long event, then you can actually create that around that event. Like here's an example here. We have the Harvest Festival every year. Greg Lowry, sets up a stadium event, but there's churches that actually are a part of that setup, the conference experience, and the teardown. And they can, even though that's not our event, they can actually invite students to participate in that experience. And if it's a day long, you can get up to 1 credit hour. If it's maybe three days, then appeal, as SK said. And so it can be an event that you create. It can be an event that is created by somebody else. It can be an event that is offered through Gateway. So it's really wide open. The key to making this work is you provide the facilitator and the instruction to the experience. That's what makes it a learning experience, is because you dictate that as a director or an instructor for that event. You're the one who are going to recruit students to it, and you're the one that's creating that event. And then there's some, I think the basic requirements would be that you have a debrief. They write a 1-page summary of the event with 5 questions that you've asked in advance. It's not a hard thing, but it does take more than just attending that conference to get the credit hour. They have to actually process some stuff directed by you as either the director or the instructor. Yeah.
Okay.
Great question. Yes, Joseph?
Do you need to approve the program before we can invite students or learners to go to such event, or can we approve after the event, or what's your process?
That is a good question. Timing is always kind of wacky for advanced stuff because of the nature of the contextualization. And I don't know like a solid yes or no on that. I think the main thing will be, and SK, you can step in here, on the registrar's part of that.
Yeah, it'll be the same as any other semester. So, preferably you'd send in a syllabi before the event happens. But as far as like getting us like a tally sheet, payment, all that kind of stuff, this is kind of operating on a different level. So if we need to do a separate tally, if you're already like halfway through the semester and you've gotten all your other classes taken care of, and an event comes up that you really want to be a part of that you found out last minute, then we can just create another, like a new tally sheet part B, and you can add your students there and add their payments there and send in a separate check just for that event. And so it doesn't have to be turned in necessarily with all your stuff up front if you don't know that you're going to participate. So that's yeah, we'll just add it in however we need to. But it's kind of the same if it happens, like if there was an event that happened over Christmas break, then that's after the due date for fall classes, like fall grades. So that would then be applied to spring semester or J term.
Yeah. We have a lot more flexibility in regard
Okay.
to how we can conduct these things. But as a general rule, if the class is completed and everything paid for within that semester, that's where it counts as a general rule. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. Okay, so another question is that if somebody, you already say that this kind of gathering is for a certificate, but for somebody who already receive a certificate, can they add it on top of that, go to the next level of diploma or whatever it is?
Okay. And the answer to that question is it depends on what kind of classes they've already had. So for example, if they got a ministry certificate and they had no base courses, like some of the base courses would be like Old and New Testament, Introduction to Theology, Baptist History, then that may not be able to happen. You know, so it depends on what classes that they've had. So,
This may just be me. I may have been logged off.
but the other side about that, Joseph, is that it's possible to build those things into other courses. You know, it's possible to do kind of like hybrids. So if you're doing like a teaching course, and then there's a conference on teaching coming up, then that can be part of that experience. And then you're not teaching the whole 45 hours at that point. You'd be teaching the 30 hours. You know, that there's ways to put that together, and we will help you navigate that so that everything counts, and you're able to maximize the work and the training that you provide and the partnerships that are provided that we used to couldn't take advantage of and even help build. We just want to recognize that all the training matters, and we want to be in partnership with people. We don't want to be in competition with them in that. So, but great questions. All right, Dr. Shin, did you have a question?
Yes.
Okay.
The reason why I'm asking is, in general, right now, every center set up their own tuition different way. And now, when I don't know how many courses you are going to offer a year, but technically speaking, if I'm not mistaken. And then students who take these courses for one semester, one credit hour, it is $27.50 really meant for center fee only. Then students related to the center, now the professors honorarium, of course, since the Gateway Seminary use their own professor, then Gateway Seminary is going to pay for the professor, yes. And then reserve is, as a matter of fact, the student do not have to pay any of center tuition. So in the long run, and they all could earn, whether that's a 3-unit course or 4-unit course, without any other tuition than just paying the center fee only. So benefit is for the student, yes. And have you ever considered about that one? And that's one thing. You say not competitive, but what about, so when we say, that's a good point. My point is also not competitive. There's millions and millions of people are required and dying and need this project. So I just technically speaking for benefit of that issues. Did you ever consider that one?
Is your question about honorariums?
Professor's fee, and then that related to about the center issue. That's a good point, and pretty much like in I see positive way. Yes, I'm not negative guys, positive guys, but some of them might consider that one. That's what it is. So keep on. To me, I'm fine with me.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I'm not, was the question about professors' honorariums or?
Of course.
Okay. And that'll still be up to the local center to decide.
Yeah.
So at the base level, you could, send in the 2750 and they get it 1 credit hour. If you wanted to use it as a recruiting type tool, you might want to go that route. If there's a need to provide an honorarium, then you can decide what to add in regard to that to accomplish that end. And then, of course, they're going to have to pay whatever conference fee. If there's a individual conference fee associated with that, that's what they're going to do. But I think from our perspective, like for the training coming up, the Transform Conference, we're going to provide all that training, and it can give you an opportunity just to say, hey, here's an opportunity for you to kind of step in and get a feel for what advanced training is about and do that with us. And that gives you an opportunity actually to invite people to come together either via Zoom or with you physically. When we first thought of this COVID-19 wasn't happening. And the goal really would have been to have people join you from local churches where you are, and you share this experience together. And then you create an opportunity then to sign them up to take the full class. And then they would have 1 hour credit already on the books, so to speak, for their experience. So in the future, there's lots of opportunities that this can open up. And we don't know the full implications of it, but I can tell you they're going to be pretty good in regard to our ability to create new partnerships and add value to our local settings for sure. So does anybody else have any questions about the Transform Conference or the new certificate or how to utilize those type of things? All right. Now, there's one other thing that we're going to be working on. Jesse and George from our office have been working together, and they're going to be rolling out Google Classrooms. Does anybody use Google Classrooms to help train your instructors? So I see some heads nodded yes and some heads nodded no. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. So for all of the courses coming up in the Transform Conference, Jesse and George are going to put together a template for instructors on how to use Google Classrooms for the advanced classrooms. So they're going to have the templates ready. So one of the bonuses that you're going to get from this is not only will the instructors get the expertise from the faculty at Gateway Seminary, but they're also going to have like a plug and play Google Classroom to start setting up their classes. So we're going to help provide you guys with an opportunity to say, here's how you can begin to train your local instructors on how to set up Google Classrooms using platforms like Zoom and others to do that. And we're going to be in a place to be of help to you coming up at the Transform Conference, and you'll be walking away with all of that. And so we're excited to be able to say, we want to be able to provide this for you, this new resource, and I think it will be a blessing along the way. Yeah. Do you guys have any other things that you would like to, any questions that you have or any thoughts? Sung, it's good to see you.
What was the date of that Transform Conference again? August
22nd.
August.
And we will provide the link for that, Carlos, so that you will have that today. Okay. And it'll have the date on it, how you sign up. And this is something like that you can invite every one of those 34 churches to join with you. And there's going to be 2 tracks. You can provide training for them by just inviting them to that event. for their students. Say any church member that wants to attend, they can attend that free of charge. And we're excited to be able to offer that to you, because that gives them the ability to taste and to see if that's something that they're interested in. And if they want credit, then we can work out, the tally sheet and, all that kind of stuff. But they can take it for credit, or they can just take it for the experience. We want to provide an opportunity that you can invite people to, so they can get to know you and you can build that relationship with those local churches. So, yeah, awesome. Well, son, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes. By the way, even though it says son, but this is Oakley. I'm Oakley.
Oakley, yeah.
We're just very brand new to this. We've been actually working hard towards setting up maybe course, maybe this summertime or fall. We're interdenominational. We're trying to involve Korean American churches in Maryland, DC, Virginia area, and more. I was just traveling to Republic of Georgia and Armenia. We were hosting missions conference there. And, we are, maybe in the future, we would like to also expand, advance into maybe Republic of Georgia and Armenia. But this is going to be a very important summer and the fall, because we're going to kick it off. So let's see how it's going to work out.
All right. Well, it's good to see you, Oakley. Glad you joined us. All right. Well, guys, like I said before, I could not be more proud of you. I'm so excited that you guys have just taken this and you didn't even miss a beat. You just went with it and said, we're going to get this done. And that's super exciting. We had a meeting with some of the churches in the Bay Area last week, and it was the same. It was just a really great experience to hear what everybody's doing. We're going to, here in probably a couple weeks, you're going to get another invite from us, and we're going to roll out the Google Classroom, okay? And so you're going to get a taste of the hermeneutics, and then you're going to help us build that so that when we get down to the conference, the Transform Conference, it'll be what it needs to be. So y'all look forward to that invitation to come back and join us. And then Jesse and George are going to walk us through that template for Google Classrooms. And then we're going to just keep growing and learning how to do this better and better. So I'm so proud of you guys. Thanks for taking the time today. Wish you guys the very best. And if you need anything from us, please let us know. We're here to serve you. We want you to be successful. And that's really what we want to help accomplish. So blessings to you guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye. Y'all take care.
Bye.
Thank you. I'll see you later.
All right. Bye-bye.